Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths. We're on day 9 now. Make sure you've got your pencil ready and your paper or your maths book or your morning maths book. Let's get ready to go. Make sure you're ready to start your threes. Question 1. What's the value of the 4 in 248? The value of the 4 in 248. Well, this is a picture of 248. You're used to seeing this. 2 hundreds, 4 tens, and 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's why we say there's 2 hundreds, 4 tens, T for tens, and 8 units, or you might call them 8 ones. Okay. What's the value of the 4? Well, it's in this T column, the tens column. It's worth 4 tens. So the 4 is talking about the blue part of the number, just the blue part, the 4 tens. They're worth 4t, aren't they? 4t. That's why we call it 40, because it's 4t. So there's the answer to number 1, 4 tens, otherwise known as 40. Let's move on to question 2. We're on to some additions. 7 plus 4. Let's do this on the number line. Do it before me if you can. 7 plus 4. Start on the 7 and I'm going to count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to 11. 7 plus 4 is 11. Make sure you get that copied down. We're going on to question 3. Hopefully you're keeping up with me. If you struggle to keep up, just work on it. And in the end, you'll be able to do it. Question 3. 10. Take away 7. So when we count on a number line for takeaways, we count backwards. We count this way because we're taking things away, and our answer gets smaller than what we started with. So we start with 10. When we take away 7, we're going to have less than 10. 10 take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 3. 10 take away 7 is 3. We're practicing this for plus and for minus because you get quick at counting this. If you get quick at your additions and your subtractions, which means your pluses and your minuses, it will really help you in maths going forward. So make sure you're kept up with the copying of those questions, and we'll move on to question 4. I'll keep those on the board while I go on to question 4, where we have 8 times 10. Now the easiest way to do this really is to sing our 10 times table 8 times. So I count on my fingers, I'll stop when my fingers get to 8, see what the answer is. 10 and 20, 30 and 40, 50 and 60, 70, 80. It's 80. 8 times 10 is 80. It's like, I could do it another way. Let's get rid of most of these, except for one. Look, this is 10. This is worth 10. You have got a 10, but you've actually got 8 tens. So I'm going to copy that 10. Got 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, 6 tens, 7 tens, 8 tens now. I've copied it. I've got 8 lots of that 10. And as you can see, I'm going to have 8 tens, which is worth 80. Because that's what times is. When you've got the same thing, when you've got that 10, but you've got it 8 times instead of just one, then you've got 80. Let's move on to question 5. Division. 9 divided by 3. Thanks for your help. No, not you. I'm going to need you questions. Try and just delete these. Oh well, they want to stay. Let's let them stay. So question 5. 9 divided by 3. So it's when you've got 9 of something. Dots, I keep using, don't I? You've got 9 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all over the place. I'm going to share them into 3 groups, or group them into 3s, you could say. If it lets me. Computer's not helping me out today, is it? So, let's put a group here, put another group here, another group here. Okay, these are the spare ones at the moment. 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group. I've got 3 groups because it said share them between 3. How many in each group? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 in each group because the answer is 3 as well. 9 shared between 3, or 9 divided by 3 equals 3, says the big thick pen. There's your answer to number 5. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. And we're moving on to year 4. Going to have to delete these one at a time. That's it. And question 6 for year 4. Value of the 7 in 6,274. What's the value of the 7 in 6,274? Units, tens, hundreds and thousands. I hope you remember those hats. Thousands is used much more in year 4. The 7 is in the tens column. 7t. 7 tens is literally 70. 70 like that. So that's the value of the 7. 7 tens in brackets 70. Let's get to our year 4 addition questions, which are really revising addition from year 3. 583. I'm not working on the squares here, so I must be very careful with lining up my numbers. That's why we have squares. It makes it much easier to line things up, doesn't it? 583 plus 392. So keep up with your copying, year 4s or year 3s or year 5s, whoever you are. 5 plus 2 is, what did I say? 3 plus 2 is 5. Sometimes I say the answer in the question, don't I? 8 plus 9 is 17. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 975, because plus makes things bigger. So this gets bigger and becomes this, because we added something to it. Just checking over that, make sure it's right. I'm sure you're checking me as well. And we'll move on to question 8. Make sure you've got that copied down. Question 8 is going to be a takeaway. 527, take away 251. Be careful copying the numbers down. Be careful for everything I always say we should be careful for. Watch out all the time that you're not making the common mistakes that people make. 7 take away 1, that is 6. 2 take away 5, it's not 3, is it? That's a common mistake, people put in 3. 2 take away 5 you can't do. 2 needs help from the 5, which goes down to a 4. We get the help here. 12 take away 5 we can do, it's 7. 12 take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 7. And 4 take away 2 is 2. So we had 527. We took something away, so of course we ended up with less than we started with. So 527, when we took something away, went down and it went to that 276. And we're on question 9. Well done if you're keeping up. Question 9. 452 multiplied by 5. All right, let's do this with 2 methods. 452, oh no, one method will do, I think, in year 4 for now. Yeah, 452 multiplied by 5. I keep changing my mind here. I'm writing things all over the place. I don't know why that. What is that? No, for some reason it doesn't like me moving things much. 452 times 5. I'm going to do the grid method. After all that waffling, sorry about that, you know what I'm like. Finally we get to the grid method. Did you know what I was going to do anyway, and you've already done the grid method? If you're that clever. You know, a lot of the time, if you're slow at copying things down, it's because, I find, if you're one of the people who has trouble keeping up, it's normally because you start later than everyone else. Some people just start copying straight away. They finish before other people have even started. So try that. When I start writing a question, start copying it down straight away. 452 times 5. Split it up into 452 times 5. I'll do the answers in purple. 5 times 4 is 20. But then there's 2 more zeros in the question to place. That's quite big. So 5 times 400 is 2,000. Now we've got to do 5 times 50 in here. 5 times 5 is 25. But we have a 0 to place. And in the last space, 5 times 2, 5, 10 is 10. So we have 2,250 and 10. You're supposed to add them up in column method. I can do it in my head as well, so I'm going to do both. In my head, it's telling me it's 2,260. I'll get the column method to check, make sure my zeros look like zeros. 2,260. 2,260, yep, happy with that. There's our answer to question 9. So in year 4, if you are a year 4, you'll normally learn standard method for multiplication later in year 4. And you'll have 2 methods then which you can use for multiplication. But this is the grid method which you did in year 3, hopefully. Let's go on to question 10. 120 divided by 2. So it's a big old number, this. We'll do this with the bus stop. 120 divided by 2. Did you know up doing 5-second bus stops? It'll be so quick. For a lot of people, it's quicker than they could do it in their head. So I think it's really worth practicing the bus stop a lot and getting nice and fast at it, as long as you're accurate. Now I've made a big mistake here, haven't I? The fast people are going to be really annoyed with me today because I didn't uncover the work and you've been sitting there waiting for me to get there, haven't you? So sorry about that. It's uncovered now. You can get on with it. I'm on question 11, year 5 level questions. Value of the 4 in 265,324. Value of the 4. That's pretty easy, isn't it? That's literally 4 units. I could write all the hats on, but there's no need because I know it's 4 units. Otherwise known as 4 ones, which I'm sure you know because I say it every day. 4 units is 4 ones. As a number, just the 4. Well, that was so easy. I'm wondering if I've done something wrong. No, that's all it wanted. Value of the 4 is 4 units. And we're on question 12. This will take a bit longer. This is the kind of additions that you learn in year 4 and you still need to be able to do in year 5 and year 6 and year 12 or year 53. However old you get, you're still going to need to be able to do these additions sometimes. Just copy the question down correctly and we'll do plus 2 plus 5, 7, 6 plus 9, 15. Carry the 1, make sure it's 15, not 51. 15. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Make sure it says 10, not something else. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. That is 12,057, that's how you say that. 12,057. If you want the comma, it goes 3 from the end. If you're not sure where it goes, you can leave it out. You don't have to put the comma in. So we get 12,057 and we go to question 13. This will be a minus. You probably noticed that this time of the year anyway, it always goes place value plus minus times divide. That does change later in the year to confuse you a bit, but for now, it's always the same. This is a minus, isn't it? Yep, biggest number on the top. Not much helping required or carrying or borrowing. 7 take away 5 is 2, 4 take away 2 is 2. They both worked, but then 3 take away 5 we get stuck on. 3 needs some help. 2 goes down to a 1, bring 1 over. 13 take away 5 is 8. 1 take away 1 is 0, which you could write, but it doesn't do anything. You don't have to write it. The answer is 822. That makes sense. Number 13, 822. Time for number 14. What have we got here? Multiplication, not that big actually, this one. 1,873. I'll do standard method first anyway. Normally end up doing the grid method too as a check. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3, it's not a very neat 3, is 7. 7,492. I rushed that, didn't I? So I don't know if it's right. I could do the grid method to tell me if it's right. So split up into 1,870, lost the number, 3. Multiplying that by 4. Let's see, 4 times 1 in here is 4. 3 zeros. Obviously 4 times 1000 is 4000. 4 times 1000, 4000. 4 times 8, 32. 2 zeros to place. 4 times 7, 28. 1 zero to place. And 4 times 3 is 12. So that should all add up to this, if this was right. Okay, so 4000, I'm going to do my addition on the end of here to save a bit of time. 3200, 280, and 12. So that's where I'm doing all my addition. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing. I haven't lined them up very well. There's a wonky lining up, so I have to be very careful to make sure I find everything. And I get 7,492. Happy that's right, because I've got it with 2 different methods. There we go. Question 15, nice and quick. After the long question 14, question 15, bus stop is fast. Now some of you will work towards 5-second accurate bus stops. It's such a quick skill once you get used to it. It's all about practice, of course. How many 5s in 3? 0, carried a 3. How many 5s in 35? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. My finger said 7. Counting on your fingers is massively helpful for the bus stop. How many 5s in 8? Not many. 5, 10, there's not even that many. 5, there's just 1. That goes up to 5, remainder 3 then. How many 5s in 35? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 is 7. 717 we get. Division makes things get smaller. So 3,585, when it gets shared out between 5, you've got much less. Each person has 717. Question 16, year 6 level, and anyone else who's still going. Value of the 2 in 45.528. Why couldn't there be 2 2s in this question? Why is there only 1 2 in this question? It's because the question wouldn't work if there was more than 1 2, because you wouldn't know which one to find the value of. Does that make sense? So that's why you'll only ever find 1 of that digit that's underlined. Value of the 2, there's only going to be 1 2 in the question. Let's put the hats on. I usually start with the decimal point when there's decimals, because I know units goes before the decimal point. That's tens. This is the big end of the number. This is the little end of the number. They're decimals. Decimals are little, aren't they? They're very similar to fractions. They just look different, but they're really the same. They're just parts of something. This is the small end of the number. Tenths is quite small. Hundredths is really small. And thousandths is absolutely tiny, because it's like smashing something into 1,000 equal pieces. When you smash things, they don't really work out equal, do they? But it's like smashing something into 1,000 equal pieces. And we want the 2, which is in the hundredths column. So we say 2 hundredths. That 2 is pretty small because it's only worth 2 hundredths. Much less than 1 whole. Much, much less. 2 hundredths. As a fraction, it's 2 over 100. As a decimal, it's 0.0, there it is, 2. 0.02. So 3 answers, all correct, all worth the same for question 16. 0.02, 2 hundredths is 2 hundredths. Let's go on to question 17. As long as you're careful on addition with decimals, it's really all about the lining up. As we go through morning maths, I will put in more tricks. It'll get a bit more difficult. You might not notice it getting more difficult because it very slowly gets more difficult, but by the end of the year we'll be doing totally different level of questions. It'll be much harder than what we're doing now. So 3.65 plus 2.7, it has to line up like this. You have this gap here. You have a gap, but that is correct because a decimal point is what has to line up. It might look strange to you because all your life, until you got to decimals, you were lining things up down the right, weren't you? Down the right side. But this one is not lining up down the right. It's the decimals that are lining up. Year 6 will know this very well. Do the addition quickly. We get 6.35. 3 and a bit plus 2 and a bit. We had some carrying, which made it go up to 6 instead of 5. 6.35. And we're on question 18. Nearly done for today. 5.75. Take away 3.58. 5 take away 8. Can't do it. Get some help. goes down to a 6, we get the 1. 15 take away 8 is 7, isn't it? 6 take away 5 is 1. And 5 take away 3 is 2. 5 and a bit take away 3 and a bit is 2 and a bit. That definitely makes sense. That was question 18. Minus makes things smaller. That's why this is smaller than this. I'm always talking like this. I'm always checking what I'm doing. You probably notice all the time. When I do minus, I'm checking it got smaller. I'm always checking I copied my numbers down right because I've just got so used to my mistakes over the years. You've got to accept you make mistakes. I've never seen a child who doesn't make mistakes. Not the whole time I taught in this school or any school. I've never seen a child who doesn't make mistakes in maths, but the best children, the very, very best children at maths anyway, they find their mistakes. That's what they do. So they fix them before the teacher sees them. So it's not that people don't make mistakes, it's that the very best people, they always find their mistakes. And so therefore they can get 100%. Right, let's see if I've made any mistakes here. 5 times 7, 35. 5 times 8, 40 plus 3, 43. 5 times 9, 45 plus 4, 49. 5 times 2, 10 plus 4, 14. So we get 14,935. There's the comma. 14,935. That's right. I'm sure of that. I'll check that one. 14,935. It is right. And let's move on to question 20. Final one. What's this? The bus stop will do this. So it won't take long. 2.845 divided by 5. When you do the bus stop for decimals, it works really nicely. You just line up the decimal point and then you do it as you always do a bus stop. How many 5s in 2? 0 carried as 2. How many 5s in 28? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. My fingers are saying 5 fits into 25, but that's 28. So I count up from 25 to 28. 26, 27, 28. It was 3 left over. How many 5s in 34? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6 makes up 30. I didn't use the 4. I only counted up to 30 out of the 34, so carried a 4. And as you know, 5 will fit into 45. I'm sure you know how many. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's 9. 0.569. We had 2 and a bit. That's all we had at the start. 2.845 is 2 and a bit. 2 and a bit. When you share it between 5, people are not getting a whole one, they're just getting a bit. Because you only had 2 whole ones in the first place. So that makes sense. Division makes things smaller usually. One day I might show you a time when it doesn't, but almost always division makes things smaller. 0.569, let's see our answers, see if that's right. And you can pause the video as usual to get your answers. Mark carefully, see what you got right. If you can't do something, remember that as a target. The things you're getting wrong, the things you're not sure how to do, ask your teacher about them, get some help about it, and fix the things that you can't get right. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.